Good afternoon, everyone. We're going to go ahead and get started. It's great to see all of you here today. We have about 130 people online, so there's a nice crowd watching on Zoom, and we'll be able to take questions from both groups. The UH State of Research Address is always fun because I am here to report that the state of research at UH is very strong. And in the next 40 minutes, you will hear that we've had our best research year ever. And we are here today to celebrate the accomplishments of all of you. And so we will go through this, and I think we will have a time at the end to applaud all of your efforts. Now, many of you know that our mission is to heal, to teach, and to discover. And today we're going to focus on discovery. Science plays a critical role in our vision, advancing the science of health and the art of compassion. We are an academic health system that is dedicated to accelerating discovery, innovation, in translation of scientific breakthroughs in order to address unmet clinical needs and enhance the lives of our patients, our community, and hopefully the world. Now, many of you ask, and today I had the good fortune of being able to talk to Monica Robbins. Why is research important? How can we break it down for our community? And research is about hope. And I want to share with you, all of these patients have agreed to these pictures today. Research offers hope for patients with no options. Patients who need the latest drug, device, or cell-based therapy when they have no other therapies. We call out the great work of Djingish Dalal, and you see pictured here the first patient in base correction who was cured of sickle cell disease. We think about Mehdi Shishabour's amazing work in limb salvage on the bottom, avoiding amputation, that we'll talk about. Our Ray Anders that helps spinal cord injury patients breathe. Jordan Winter and David Bajor, who take perhaps the most deadly cancer, prostate cancer, with a 5-year survival of less than 5%, to develop a new target that will have a clinical trial for 12 patients with resectable pancreatic cancer. This research is great for our patients. It enhances our health system differentiation. It improves healthcare outcomes. It attracts top talent. It produces intellectual property that will help us, give us equity and royalty that will make this a self-sustaining and evergreen flywheel. It drives philanthropy, and it creates enormous biomedical system impact. Every dollar of extramural research support leads to about $2.46 of economic activity. We are a job creation engine in research. Now, what is the value of research overall in society? And I'd like to call your attention to this amazing slide developed by the AAMC. Disease is costly. Cancer care in the US, the cost is $208 billion. It's been estimated that the lives saved by cancer research since 1991, 3.8 million. We spend over $1 trillion on cardiovascular care in the United States by 2035. And research has led to a reduction in death of heart disease by over 56%. And you can see that the economic impact of research in the US has been $33 billion in gross domestic product and over 348,000 jobs. Research is essential for our community. Now, how have we done in 2023? Top line metrics, nearly $200 million in extramural funding. That includes funding through both UH and Case Western for NIH and DoD and NSF awards. Our sponsored research through UH from foundations, from industry, from pharma, biotech, and other agencies is $105 million and is up 11%. We've had 100 invention disclosures. We have 3,400 active clinical research studies, #1 in clinicaltrials.gov in Northeast Ohio. We have about 1,100 faculty members, now over 1,100 residents and fellows, over 2,000 medical students, clerkships and elective rotations. And our faculty and our trainees have produced over 1,500 manuscripts in 2023. Grant expenditures have been growing. In 2019, only 62 million and now over 105, and indirects continue to grow. Indirects are important because they support clinical research infrastructure. We return 25% of those indirects to the department. We support our health services research effort, which we'll talk about. It supports our UH academic mission with grant writers and biostatisticians. And very importantly, it is the source of K and R transition funds for junior investigators. Our commitment to the academic mission is very robust. In 2023, through education, faculty support, academic recruitment, research and education, distinctive programs, academic affiliations, and our faculty practice investment in our faculty will amasses to $270 million. And that support has increased from 2018 to 2023. And we thank all of the senior leaders of UH for that support. Now, research is a team sport. We've talked about that before. Very, very important for collaborations. One of our most important collaborations, of course, is our primary affiliation with Case Western Reserve University through our Case Comprehensive Cancer Center, through the Institute for Computational Biology, through the CTSC, and others. But our collaborations are also statewide, very importantly with Jobs Ohio, that we'll talk about in some detail, as well as Northeast Ohio Medical University, or NeoMed. But our collaborations are also global. This October, and we'll talk about it later, we signed the Oxford Harrington Rare Disease Center and Accelerator Program. We have global programs with Morgan Stanley, both on the nonprofit and for-profit bank. We collaborate with the UH Technion Israel Institute of Technology, and our newest collaboration with the National Taiwan University College of Medicine. So UH's footprint is now global. Now, what I'd like to do is spend a little bit of time, especially since Stan is here, what a wonderful partner in our CWR-UH Joint Strategic Leadership Committee. We have reviewed over 39 applications. We've approved 33. Our total commitment to joint efforts to attract, retain the right talent, and develop programs in key research areas amounts now to over $15 million. Our commitment is up to $4 million a year, and you see that that commitment is evenly split. I want to share with you the pictures of these amazing individuals that we have attracted. And you can see diversity of specialties and diversity of backgrounds and talent, both faculty recruitment, faculty retention, and very importantly in 2023, from the really strong advocacy of Bob Salata and also Jonathan Haynes and others on the JSLC Collaborative Science Pilot Awards. As you see here, Alvin Schmeier sitting here today, and also many others pictured. This is very important because this will lead to new team science and new grants. And of course, a very new and important center led by Ken Remy, the new CWR-UH Blood, Heart, Lung, and Immunology Research Center. Really a terrific new program. Now, I want to tell you a little bit about this collaboration thing and why it's so important. Jobs Ohio Cleveland Innovation District is a state-based program similar to those that are held in Cincinnati and Columbus to create new jobs, to enhance education, to increase research, and also to have strong economic impact. You see that our partners include Governor Mike DeWine and Lieutenant Governor John Husted, as well as all of our partner institutions in this grant in Cleveland, the Cleveland Clinic, Cleveland State, Case Western, Metro Health, and of course, UH. Our area has been focused on research and product innovation. These are just a few of our targets that we have to meet over a 10-year period. And what I want to share with you is that we're blowing through our 10-year job target. We've created 423 jobs in only 3 years. We've completed our capital investment with a wonderful Wesley Immunotherapy Center and new wet labs on the 6th floor of Wolstein. Our research expenditures are supposed to have a 2.5% CAGR. We're growing between 11 and 15%. And our board has very generously invested over $30 million in research and drug development as part of this program. I want to share with you a couple other very important collaborative projects. The Cleveland Institute for Computational Biology is a big data health informatics collaboration with UH that leverages OMOP models as well as electronic health record models and search engines to create new research opportunities. And if you look at some of the success stories of this program, it includes new grants from Gautam Rao, Elizabeth Harris, and Samuel Rogers Melnick, as you see here. So thank you to Jonathan Haynes and Mark Bino and others in the Center for Computational Biology. It's a great collaboration that will continue to grow. We also have new and important collaborations with NeoMed. University Hospitals is renowned for their peripheral hearing loss work, both in basic science, translational, and clinical cochlear implant. The NeoMed team is very highly regarded for central hearing loss, with over $26 million in NIH funding over the next 5 years. It is our hope that collaborations between basic and clinical scientists can increase the impact of new grants related to hearing loss, both in the periphery and the central, and bringing these groups together. We're trying to do that in a larger group of faculty scholars at NeoMed, identifying nearly 30 scholars in a variety of disease areas that hopefully will be able to advance education and research opportunities between the two institutions. Now, many of you know that we have a comprehensive research portfolio at University Hospitals. Basic scientific discovery, translational drug device and diagnostic development, clinical research, as well as health services, health implementation science, or health outcomes research, what we call our impacting community and world research efforts. And I want to take you in the next few moments on a whirlwind around this map of discovery. The first is really to highlight an absolutely incredible growth of research under the leadership of our Chair of Pediatrics, Marlene Miller, who is here today. As you can see, just transformative grants leading in 2023 to over $37 million in research expenditures in 1 year. This includes amazing work of Grace McCompsey as the PI of the renewal for the CTSC, a $50 million HRSA Pediatric Pandemic Network grant by Charles Macias with follow-on funding, as well as neonatal research network grants, and very importantly, new PCORI 2 implementation science capacity building grant, which gives us access to very special RFPs. Congratulations, Marlene, to you and your department. I would also like to call out a growing area of research excellence under the leadership of our Chair, Lee Ponsky, in urology. And this includes incredible work by Jonathan Shoag, Adana Sajaz, Sanjay Gupta, Rachel Pope, and David Shine, with over 155 active research studies, 31 funded projects, $4.5 million in newly funded research in 2023, and over 140 journal publications for a relatively small department. Congratulations to our urology team. Now, one of the real call outs here, and I love looking at Donna Plecha smile, and I saw her walking in. And of course, she should smile because her group and this radiology research group led by just amazing people, Mark Griswold, Agata Axner, and many others who are pictured here, $49.4 million in new grants related to MR research since 2021, with 98 publications in this area. This is one of the fastest growing areas of research, but because it combines this MR fingerprinting technology with AI to help diagnose and also to follow disease response in cancer and in other diseases. Congratulations to Donna and this amazing research team. I would also like to call out a very new program in radiation oncology and its academic success, led by our chair, Dr. Dan Spratt. He arrived from the University of Michigan, I guess only 3 years ago, and you can see his enormous impact, both on the clinical trial side with a 22% increase in accruals, large number of peer-reviewed publications, and grant funding that in 2024 will exceed $12 million. This is very important because it is bringing us the latest in radiotherapy and radiation medicine treatments for patients with cancer. This field is rapidly changing, and we're so lucky to have Dan here with us now. What about another area of excellence to call out? Well, Amitabh Chak and the incredible work related to pathways of injury and repair in Barrett's carcinogenesis. This is a program project of $11.2 million, collaborations with all of the individuals that you see here, with Case Western, of course, and the Duke University School of Medicine, and our amazing cancer center. So congratulations to Amitabh. Well, let's talk a little bit now for a moment as we highlighted some of the real highlights of science to get into a little bit of our basic discovery. And I like to call out, this is really important. This is a milestone in a physician scientist's career to receive your first independent R01 grant. And I would like to congratulate Ian Nealon, Yang Chen, Jonathan Shoag, Rui Wang, and Leo Kaya Bittencourt for their first R01s or R37 proposals that you see here that are really going to change research for our junior and uprising faculty. Congratulations to all of them. To focus on some specific scientific discoveries of enormous impact, I call your attention to the work of Professor Zhao and Professor Stamler in a publication in Cell identifying a new target for a new class of diabetes drugs based on S-nitrosylation of the insulin receptor. We have a lot of drugs to treat diabetes. Insulin levels are high in type 2 diabetes, but insulin doesn't have a response. Dr. Stamler and his team have identified the problem, which is hypernitrosylation of the insulin receptor. We now have a target and drugs to prevent that, which will lead to new therapeutics in the management of diabetes. Congratulations on this profound discovery. Quentin Pan is here. I saw him smiling as always. His group is making enormous progress in HPV cancers in a variety of new approaches, but one which has really caught my attention as a simple plumber and cardiovascular interventional cardiologist is the repurposing of a cardiovascular drug. Fenofibrate is used to treat predominantly high triglyceride levels, but very interestingly, Quentin and his team here, Wendy O'Neill and Lindsay Ferguson, discovered that fenofibrate reactivates P53 tumor suppression program in HPV positive cancers. And there is already a phase 1 trial for this drug underway. Congratulations for your creativity to you and to your team. I'd also like to call out the work of David Wald. David Wald is a pathologist with an uncanny ability to understand the challenges of taking care of patients with cancer. If you have a patient with lymphoma who has failed multiple therapies and you want CAR T cells from a commercial lab, it can take 4 to 6 weeks. Because of the amazing work that Stan did developing the National Center for Regenerative Medicine and through work in that amazing program, we have an in-house CAR T program that can generate CAR T cells in 7 to 14 days. But that may not be fast enough. And David has discovered what we call ultra-fast CAR T manufacturing. He can isolate T cells. He can develop them for patients after only 2 days of quality controls to treat potentially patients in as short as 3 days. And as you can see right here, that we already have this ultra-fast processing in patients who have 100% manufacturing success and 5 of 6 patients with outcome data achieving remission with a favorable safety profile. This is really incredible work. And then finally, Reshmi and her team now advancing CAR T therapy, not only for B-cell cancers, but also for autoimmune disease, with the very important efforts now, especially in a very difficult to treat disorder, which is refractory multiple myeloma. So we're very excited by Reshmi's work. Now let's move on to translational drug development. The difference in many ways between research and academic health systems, often in universities, is that universities do research for discovery's sake. New knowledge is very important. Academic health systems have to be focused on taking those discoveries back to the patient and to the bedside. And that's where translational research becomes so important. Let's talk about the great work of Leo Bittencourt and our AI team, which is trying to focus especially on radiology AI and diagnostic innovation. Last year, great work in collaboration with AZMed led to FDA approval of the AI detection software for fracture detection in the emergency room, reducing the time to diagnosis of fractures and enhancing accuracy. We have about 5 different AI detection algorithms active in the hospital, including, very importantly, pneumothorax detection that was developed with GE Healthcare in patients in ICUs who are receiving intravenous lines. We are very, very proud of the Harrington Discovery Institute and its ability and its mission to accelerate therapeutics and create new medicines for unmet need, with areas of focus in major disease such as cancer and cardiovascular disease and immunity, brain health medicines for dementia and Alzheimer's, and obviously our newest area in rare disease through the Oxford Harrington Rare Disease Center. What's been the impact of that over the last 10 years? The creativity of this model is that we fund the best science across the US, Canada, and the UK. We have funded 178 medicines in the making from 65 institutions. We've launched 39 companies. We have 21 medicines in the clinic, and we've licensed 15 to pharma. We are in phase 1 to phase 3 clinical trials, and we are very, very hopeful that FDA approval will follow very, very shortly. So this is all from a very novel, nonprofit, for-profit model of drug discovery. We're very, very proud of our efforts in October of 2023 to launch a new accelerator with the University of Oxford. And you see on the upper right a picture of the Harrington family with Stathis and Cliff and Jonathan Stamler and me on the right with former Prime Minister of the UK, David Cameron, who is now basically the Secretary of State of the UK, who lost a child to rare disease and has agreed to serve as the leader of our International Council for this new therapeutic accelerator. He is very passionate from his own personal experience, and we are committed to funding 10 scholars a year over the next 10 years in the US and the UK to create 40 new therapies into clinical trials in the next 10 years with a goal of 6 to 8 FDA and EMA approvals. And I think it's very telling with Gary Schwartz being here and designated the new NCI lead for rare cancer, that one of the focuses of this effort is actually in rare cancer. So we will be working very closely with Gary and our Comprehensive Cancer Center. We're trying to accelerate diagnostics and devices. We have a very strong UH Ventures and Tech Transfer office. These are some of the new investments into promising companies that you see here at different stages. And This last year, we had 185 patent filings in conjunction with CWRU, 100 invention disclosures, and 35 licenses. And some of those spinouts in the last few years include Rodeo, which was acquired by Amgen. That's Sandy Markowitz's company. Lucid, the triumvirate of Joe Willis, Sandy, and Amitabh Chak. And a little call out to my small company, small but mighty, we hope, Kaleida Therapeutics, which is located, I have to say, it's very tough to go to board meetings in Paris, but that is founded by French biotech. So we do have our board meetings there. We'll keep you posted on that inflammation company. Of course, we have to thank Dee and Jimmy Haslam for our new UH Haslam Sports Innovation Center, a $20 million gift led by James Voos to improve athletic performance technique, reduce the risk of injury, to promote healing and inspire exercise and support healthy lifestyles. Ultimately, this in many ways is performance medicine and really talks about how can we live longer and live healthier as well. So thank you, Dee and Jimmy. Now let's advance to clinical research. We have achieved a spectacular outcome at University Hospitals and Case Western in 2023. The Clinical Research Forum, or CRF, seeks nominations from the deans of all medical schools in the United States for the most outstanding clinical research in 2023. UH nominated Amru Siraj and Mehdi Shishibour to Dean Gerson, who in turn nominated them along with others. And I'm very pleased to report that UH and CWRU received 2 out of the top 10 clinical research awards in 2023. Amru Siraj led an international trial of randomizing patients to endovascular treatment thrombectomy versus clot-busting drugs in large core strokes, an area that had not previously been investigated. This work showed that thrombectomy was 3 times more likely to result in functional independence and 2 times more likely to achieve independent ambulation. Dr. Siraj hit a hat trick in 2023, in the last 12 months, that we all wish we could do, which was publication in New England Journal, Lancet, and JAMA, all within 12 months. For those of you who are basic scientists, we are very proud of impact factors of greater than 20. The impact factor of the New England Journal is 185. So congratulations to Amru on this amazing work. Not 1, but 2 top 10 awards. The second one to Mehdi Shishibour. There are over 75,000 amputations in the United States for peripheral vascular disease, predominantly that related to diabetes. This is the first trial in the US and in the world's history that has shown a device that can reduce 73%, reduce amputations by over 73%. This is a covered stent that creates arteries from veins. When you can't cross long total occlusions of arteries, remember, we have neighboring veins. And this stent goes from artery into vein, bringing straight line blood flow to the foot. As you can see, Mehdi was the first author of this publication. He is also in a very interesting, only could happen in 2024, a social media extravaganza across the country of voting on its own the best research. He was rated top 4 in the country. So congratulations. We thank Stan for nominating, and we would like to congratulate again Mehdi and Siraj. I'd also, though, however, like to call out amazing work of Dan Spratt related to an artificial intelligence predictive model for hormone therapy use in prostate cancer. This was widely reported, not only in the medical press, but as only Dan and his powerful personality all over the news in the world. And congratulations, I think, are in order for Dan, because this is really going to lead to not only CMS approval, but also guideline endorsement for multimodal artificial intelligence in prostate cancer. I would also like to congratulate Ian Nealon. Ian Nealon is our lead in our cinema program for cardiometabolic disease. And he's doing a very important R01 study related, it's called the Adiposa study, which is using SGLT2 inhibitors for sleep apnea. This is a very, very interesting clinical trial, and we look forward to Ian reporting these outcomes. I would also like to call out the amazing work of Dr. James Voos and Dr. Kelsey and Gillespie, Ina and Moyal related to their efforts to start making joint replacements all live and living tissues. And these are a major paradigm shift, not only in ACL surgery, but also in rotator cuff surgery, of using collagen scaffolds to enhance repair. Not only as we reported in the past about mesenchymal stem cells for osteoarthritis, but they're now living replacements and scaffolds that are going to really enhance functional recovery. And as you can see here, there are plans for an FDA 510(501) submission for first human implantation in the summer. We are very excited by this work. I'd also like to call out the amazing work of Ashwin Daladi. I saw him here earlier for his work in small cell lung cancer. There really is currently no targetable genetic mutations. Response to treatment has been very difficult, and he has shown that CDK4/6 inhibitors lead to dramatic response in patients with small cell lung cancer. This clinical research has been funded by Lilly, and this trial has enrolled multiple patients. This is bench to bedside. This is what we're all about at UH. I would also like to call out the amazing work of Eli Sadi and his team related to vaccine effectiveness and social determinants of health, both related to COVID-19 and influenza. This is a $14.2 million grant from the CDC with options for additional funding and term extension. University Hospitals is leading this effort with other collaborators. You see here 7 reporting sites, and UH is the coordinating center and the only site in Ohio. This is really terrific because Ellie has already scored 2 extensions to this grant, and we're very excited to see the outcome and really to see the impact of this on improving vaccine effectiveness. Now let's conclude with our impact to community and to the world. This is really amazing work of Martha Sajadovic and the Neuro Brain Health Collaborative that is a combination of both neurology and psychiatry. Their work is amazing. $10.8 million in new research grants as principal investigators from Professor Levin, McVoy, Korkian, Burant, Rigel, and Briggs, with 14 newly funded research grants, 58 new manuscripts, 68 international presentations, and over 79 mentees supported. And again, to highlight this issue of team sport, UH Cleveland Medical Center, Case Western, University of Miami in Florida, and Kent State. Congratulations to this amazing team for combining neurologic and behavioral outcomes in health services research. I would also like to call out the amazing work of Sanjay Rajagopalan, who unfortunately can't be here today because he is a visiting professor in Kentucky. But Sanjay leads the world's largest no-charge precision medicine screening program. This is our free coronary artery calcium score, which has now done this measure in over 100,000 patients across Ohio in the United States. More than 20 papers, 40 abstracts, and $20 million in extramural funding. And this has really taken off to be a really important cutting-edge AI effort, not only in radiomics, but combining proteomics, genomics, and very importantly, because all of you know that Sanjay is an expert in the environment, he has included the expososome. Very, very important observations. There's 7.5 million excess cardiovascular deaths in the world due to 2.5 micron particle pollution. We have intense geospatial modeling in Cleveland. Sanjay can identify neighborhoods using drones and others for walkability, tree coverage, temperature, ozone, and 2.5 micron. He can find neighborhoods that have high heart attack rates, low stroke rates, and other neighborhoods with high stroke rates, low heart attack rates, and other neighborhoods with high incidences of heart failure. We're changing our whole paradigm for how we're going to approach these patients, and it is through this amazing work that Sanjay has done to combine his career in imaging with now a growing career in understanding the importance of the environment. Our impacting community in the world also extends to whole health. Françoise Adon, our Chief Whole Health and Wellbeing Officer, has stressed the importance of not only thinking about our conventional medicine, but other therapies, including music therapy, expressive therapy, acupuncture, and other holistic methods. And you can see here incredible funding from the Prentice Foundation to SAM for music therapy, and also efforts from Christine related to our fertility center. So congratulations to our whole health group as well. There have also been very important efforts from individuals that you see pictured here related to syphilis screening and linkage to care. This is our new research efforts really focused in the emergency room. This is our chair, Vicki Noble's dream, which is to enhance research within the emergency room as first contact. UH has over 450,000 emergency room visits a year. And this is now, as you see, extending from infectious disease to substance use and screening and treatment disorders. And congratulations to Vicki, a chair for only a very short period of time, who's really recruited amazing people here to build research within our emergency medicine system. And then finally, congratulations to Sam Bora. Thank you, Marlene Miller, for running this search to really identify a new health services research center leader. We went through an exhaustive strategic plan and came up with the vision of catalyzing excellence in national leadership in the development, evaluation, and translation of evidence and policies to enhance the efficacy, efficiency, and equity of healthcare delivery to improve health and well-being outcomes at the individual and population levels. This is intensely collaborative with Case Western. Our leaders there have been very helpful in our strategic planning efforts to be able to find the right niche for this group, focusing heavily on disparities and inequities, but also promoting education and training in this space, strengthening opportunities for population health, and accelerating innovation through robust research. I would like to call out just a wonderful intensive effort that Sam brought together in a relatively short period of time last summer, a Foundation of Health Services Research Certificate Program that was a 3-week intensive, fast-paced, in-person program that attracted faculty in person from Johns Hopkins and the Harvard School of Public Health in fundamentals of health service research methodology, as well as broad skills. And this cohort, which came together this last summer, has continued to meet. And from this group of junior faculty, we have already had 3 to 5 step forward for K applications and support. So thank you, Sam. That is now open for additional applications for our course this summer, and we look forward to robust enrollment. Now, all of this leads to career development and advancement. And I have to say, I want to thank Marjorie Greenfield, our Chief Academic Development Officer, for transforming and helping us expand the number of our faculty ranks who are promoted. Over 63 last year, commemoration of this amazing achievement was on August 24th. We had impassioned speakers. Tiffany Hodges promoted to associate professor, Guilherme Adesanya to professor, who talked about their journey and how they went from fellow to professor. I remember not long ago when Guilherme Adesanya came from Brazil to work in our core imaging lab as a fellow from Brazil, who we then sent to Sicily for structural heart disease and has now been promoted to professor, all within about 8 years at UH. It's really a phenomenal role, and we thank Marjorie for her efforts in helping us advance promotion. These are the complete list of all of our promoted faculty members. Now, special recognitions. In 2023, Dr. Jonathan Stamler was voted to be a fellow of the 2023 National Academy of Inventors. This is a phenomenal achievement and recognizes Jonathan's excellence in basic science, but his commitment to translating these discoveries into new drugs and commercialization activities and founding new companies. Congratulations to Jonathan. Fabio, who's sitting in the front, one of my dear colleagues over the past, I guess now 18 years, named a distinguished university professor at Case Western, the highest honor of the university that bestows on a member of its faculty. And I have to say, I reviewed that roster this morning, and given the very long history of Case Western, this is a relatively short list. So congratulations, Fabio, on this amazing achievement. I would also like to congratulate Jean LeCamp and John Wang for their appointment as new chairs of the Department of Psychiatry and Director of Behavioral Health Institute and the chair of the Department of Genetics and Genome Sciences, respectively. These are phenomenal leaders, and we look forward to illustrious careers for both of them. And finally, I know I already trumpeted them, but I have to do it again. I have to thank our top 10 in the US, Mehdi and Amru, once again. Now, at the end of the day, people want to know, how do we stack up? We think we're good. We report out that we've had our best year ever. But at the end of the day, we're scored by others. UK Brand Finance is the only rating agency that looks at clinical research and education for academic health systems. You can see here that in 2023, these ratings just came out, so technically they're 24, but they're based on the last couple of years. UH is now ranked 14th in the US and 28th in the world. Now, it's good. It means we're a player. Okay, we're a national player and we're a global player. Do we want to be better? Of course we do. But I think all of you can leave here today being very proud. The team. What a team. I can't thank this research and education team enough. It makes coming to work every day a joy. This is the best team I've ever worked with in my 18 years at UH, and I am so thankful and grateful to get to work with them every day. Each one brings something very, very special to the table, and I urge all of you to get to know them because they will help you succeed. A couple of highlights. We cannot leave here today without thanking one of the most important groups that we have, which is our UH Clinical Research Center. These are over 235 employees, led previously and still to some extent by Grace McComsey, but our interim director, Beth Haggisfeld, is here today. This is a very, very complex group over research compliance, IRB, grants and contracts, regulatory, investigational drug service, education, our new metabolic research kitchen in the DOMS, our Seidman Cancer Center units, and what I'm most proud of, because I got to sit in that driver's seat once. I wouldn't drive it though. I don't have that, can't drive it, which is there are only 2 clinical trial Winnebagos in the US. And this Winnebago has a freezer, a refrigerator, a centrifuge, and a place for us to bring research to people who can't come here. So where does it go? Goes to Amish country. Goes to urban areas where there's a little bit of distrust of coming to places to do research, and we can go to them. If we have patients who enroll in clinical trials and say, I can't drive 90 miles to come for my site visit, but we need your blood, we will draw that, we will send that unit. We've done over 1,200 procedures. We've had 150 people so far into it with 417 unique patient encounters. We're going to do whatever it takes to increase clinical trial enrollment. We've already brought it out into the community. You can access Seidman clinical trials in Avon, everything there, and that's what we want to do. I presented to the Elyria Foundation yesterday. We have extensive clinical trials activities in Elyria in all of our community hospitals and in our primary care offices. Our support for diversity in clinical research is very, very important. We must enroll children. We must increase the enrollment of underrepresented minorities and African Americans in clinical trials. Our biggest value, as Grace McComsey can tell you, to the Long COVID Recover Network was that not only were the fastest enrolling site, but we enrolled the most number of African Americans in the Long COVID trial. And what did Grace get for that? An extension. Please enroll more patients. And we should be very proud of that. I also need to thank our incredible IR&D team led by Jory Mintz, who helps us with attainment. The only way we can do this is to get grants and money to do this research. And the work that this team does is absolutely amazing, with over 38 million in attainment in 2023. This is a group that prior to Jory's leadership, attainment was in the $9 to $10 million range. This is what we can do now to AHRQ, HRSA, PCORI, CDC, foundations, corporations, and others. And I want to thank this team because they push us and they drive us every day. In fact, I was on the phone the last couple of days with Jory over an amazing opportunity with Stephanie Teal and others in PCORI for rare disease. And so stay tuned. We're going to deliver more in 2024. Now, of course, there's a reason why today happened, and it is the incredible work of Yi Fritz, Lisa Hackle, Nicole Bollinger, Abigail Zona, and Shelley Parkhurst, and others. This is the team that helps us do what we do, communicate, market, get the word out, and makes this all happen. And a special thanks, obviously, to Yi, my director, who really is the one who helps me with this presentation, because we say we have to show more people every year. More people. And he does just a phenomenal job capturing the essence of UH every year. Thank you, Yi. Looking ahead, what do we want to do? We want to recruit diverse faculty to promote team science through collaborative and interdisciplinary efforts. We want to augment and diversify our revenue streams for academic activities. And we want to strengthen our academic partnerships locally, statewide, and globally. And with that, it takes a team. We have time for questions. There are some microphones going around. You can raise your hand. The only thing we ask, if you do raise your hand, please tell us your name. And if there's a question on Zoom, we can take that as well. But happy to take any questions. Obviously, after this, we'll have a nice reception to be able to celebrate all of your accomplishments.
I don't have a question, but a comment. So I want to personally, on behalf of many clinician investigators at UH, to thank you for your leadership, because your work has been amazing, and also the partnership with the School of Medicine has been incredibly effective, and many of us are still here because of your vision and your support for all of us. Thank you, Dan.
Fabio, that means a lot to me coming from you because you're a very tough grader. But I do want to say, in all sincerity, I've been here a long time, since 2006, and I've seen the peaks and valleys of the relationship with Case Western. In fact, when I came here in 2006, I was very surprised to, get off the plane from Boston and find out that in the middle of the night, we signed a 10-year primary affiliation agreement with Case Western that was going to transform us for 50 years. And I thought that was terrific. Of course, it didn't last a long time. But I do want to say this. I said that we've had the best research year ever in 2023. I want to say, with Stan here, that the relationship with Case Western is the best that it's ever been. And that is because of the long working relationship I think that Stan and I have had since 2006. And through the very strong relationships that our board chairs and our boards have, and that our CEO, Cliff McGarrian, has with President Kaler. And I tell you, the personal relationship makes a big difference. On Friday night, my wife and I went with Eric and his wife, Karen Kaler, for a beautiful evening dinner together with students at Case Western. And I think it's that personal relationship that you have as well that makes a big difference. And I want to thank Stan. I want to thank his team. I want to thank all the basic science department chairs. We are in a very good place, and we will remain in that place, hopefully, as long as Stan and I are here together. So thank you, Stan. Okay, well, I guess everybody wants the wine and the beer. So thank you very much. It's been a pleasure speaking to you today. And I want to give a round of applause to all of you for your amazing accomplishments, because you make it easy to do this report.